Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. If you're surfing the net looking for that one channel which goes deep into the issues where others only scratch the surface, well, you have come to the right place. Of course, we may not deal with all the issues, but what we do here is that we select those issues that we believe is important to you and may add to your knowledge base. So, as you join me for the first time, or perhaps you're returning and you may not have subscribers yet, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way, you will know whenever it is that I upload a video. We also want you to know that your views are very important to us. So if you have something to say or add to what it is that I'm saying in this video, please go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. You're most welcome to do so. Great. Now to my subscribers, welcome back. Always lovely to have you. I appreciate the support that you've been giving this channel. You know the ropes. You're going to give the video a thumbs up from now on. Yes, please. Give the video a thumbs up. Then you share, return, and of course, you know your comments are also very valuable to me. Yes, I follow them. All right. Great. So now you're back with me. Let's get down to business. All right. So this letter was sent to me. It's dated February 6, 2025. And it is purported to be written by Angela Brown-Burke, who is the chairman of the People's National Party. But we suspect that she may not have written this. Just a suspicion. But since it's in her name, well, we're going to take it that she wrote it. Now, one of the first things that I notice about this letter is that it does not appear as though Angela Brown-Burke got legal advice. And as I read the letter, I will say why it is that I think she did not receive legal advice, which of course makes me wonder. She is a chairman of the party. She's not an attorney at law. There is a legal officer, as far as I know, and the last time that I heard, the legal officer is Tony Hilton, the Member of Parliament for Western St. Andrew, I do believe. Then you have several other persons in the party that are lawyers. You have Mark Golding, the Englishman who is in our parliament illegally. Yes, I will refer to him from time to time as the Englishman. See me talking. He says that he is a first-rate lawyer. Doesn't appear as though Angela had sought his intervention. Then, as I said before, Tony Hilton, the legal officer. You have other persons. You have KD Knight. You have all sorts of persons who are risers that if she don't trust the PNP, she could ask them. And what I found amazing from what it is that she's saying, that it is clear to me that she did not seek legal advice, which now causes me to wonder what the dickens is going on under that rise tent. Yes, man, something not quite right under the rise tent. I don't think them gelling at all. And the fact that Angela and Tony Hilton both reside under that tent and them seem not to be speaking to them one another, because I don't know what else and what other conclusion I could come to. So something seems to be amiss under the tent, that Angela seemed as if she could not have or did not want to seek legal advice before she put out this statement. Let me read it for you and I'll point out to you why it is that I say that there is sufficient evidence in this letter to tell me, and others if they know where to look, that Angela Brown-Burke wrote this and she did not seek legal advice, even though she was making reference to legal matters. I am telling you, my friends, something ain't right in that rice camp. Yes, man. Seem as if it's all falling apart, as it should. Anyway, let me read it. It says PNP to pursue legal action against JLP's reckless propaganda campaign. And when I saw that first line, I said, what the dickens is this about? PNP to sue JLP? Even if it's a pursuit of legal action, the PNP is to pursue legal action against the JLP? Let me read on. So, as I said before, dated February 6, 2025, it says, the People's National Party categorically rejects the Jamaica Labour Party's latest baseless and defamatory attacks. Now, the first thing you will note here is that she is referring to the People's National Party. She is rejecting what she called baseless and defamatory attacks. But who it is that is making those baseless and defamatory attacks? The Jamaica Labour Party. Now, let me begin by saying that a natural person, right, can claim defamation and take matters to court. So too can a body corporate, right, registered under the Companies Act, a partnership, or partners in partnership. Then you have even the corporate bodies in partnership, sole traders. These are all entities, legal entities. And in terms of the sole trader, it's a natural person that is trading under a business name. Each one of these and all of them, they can take a matter to court in their own right and in its own name. So for argument's sake, Grace Kennedy can sue and Grace Kennedy can be sued, right? So too with the partners. But when it comes to the unincorporated association, that's a different matter altogether. So what I'll do at this point, perhaps it's a good time to show you the definition of an unincorporated body. And both political parties, the People's National Party and the Jamaica Labour Party, they are both unincorporated associations. And let's see now what that is. It says here, an unincorporated association is a group of people who come together to work toward a common goal without forming a separate legal entity. Now, the separate legal entity is what happens when you incorporate. So that is why you will have Grace Kennedy Limited, for argument's sake, and the Gleaner Company will also have a limited at the end of the name. They are registered with the Registrar of Companies, and they are registered as a limited liability company, which means that that company is like a person that you created, a legal person separate and apart from you. So just as you are separate from another person, so is a company separate from you. It's a person separate from you. Just as you can sue and be sued, and whenever there's a debt, that debt is against you, that's the same thing with the company as well. It's like a person, and whatever debt it owes, it can be sued to recover that debt. You follow? And you who own that company, you are not liable to pay the debt of that company, except in certain circumstances. But it's a company's debt, and therefore you don't have to sell your house if the company falls into trouble because it is separate from you. Yes, that's how that works. Let me continue. Unincorporated associations are often voluntary groups, such as sports clubs, trade unions, or environmental groups, and of course, in this case, political parties. So, how do they work? It says unincorporated associations are not separate legal entities from their members. Let me read that again. Unincorporated associations, like the PNP, for example, and the JLP, are not separate legal entities from their members. So the PNP and the membership are the same, one and the same. The JLP and its membership, one and the same. They're not separate. It says they are governed by rules or an agreement between the members, which can be formalized in a written constitution. Now you understand why the PNP has a constitution, right? Now, when it comes to the PNP, what it is that the members agree to. It says in the constitution, the thing that makes you a PNP is the fact that you must subscribe to the philosophy and principles of democratic socialism. If you're a communist, you're not PNP. If you're a capitalist, you're not PNP. If you don't subscribe to a system, you're not PNP. You understand? Yes. You must be and subscribe to the programs and policies of the party to be a PNP. And these are incorporated in the written constitution of the People's National Party. The unincorporated body is not separate from its membership. They are the same. It's as if the group of people come together in agreement to do something and they call themselves by a name. That's all there is to it. When it comes now to contracts, for argument's sake, if the PNP wants to have light at 89 Old Hope Road, it means they're going to have to enter into a contractual arrangement with JPS. Well, an unincorporated body cannot enter into a contractual relationship with JPS or anybody. It cannot employ people, right? Because it's not a legal entity. It's just a name for the group of people. So what it means is that JPS service will have to be in somebody's name. The question I asked was, can an unincorporated association sue or be sued? And the response here is no. An unincorporated association cannot directly sue or be sued in its own name because it is not considered a separate legal entity from its members. What does that mean? Any legal action that you're going to take against the PNP or the JLP in this case, Brown-Burke is saying that they're going to be suing the JLP for defamation. It says here, any legal action that you're going to take against the JLP must be taken against individual members of the association who are responsible for the action in question. So since Brown-Burke is saying that there is defamation, the Jamaica Labour Party cannot defame anybody because it's just a name, an umbrella name for a group of people who are associated together in order to bring about some goal. So you can't sue the Jamaica Labour Party. And it said nothing. It was somebody in the Jamaica Labour Party that said something. She says it's defamatory, and therefore it is only that person that she can sue. So when this media release came out, purportedly to be written by Angela Brown-Burke, because there's no signature on it, saying that the PNP to pursue legal action against JLP's reckless propaganda campaign. The instant I saw that, my antennas went up. I said, hold on here. What is she talking about? Is she an attorney at law? No. Right? And any attorney at law that would take up this case, assuming she had consulted, would have told her that the PNP cannot sue the JLP for nothing, nor the JLP sue the PNP for anything. Are you understanding me? Yes, so my antenna went up and said, hold on, this don't look right. So when Angela Brown-Burke said the People's National Party, not she as a chairperson, not the general secretary, not the leader of the opposition, she's saying the PNP, right? People's National Party categorically rejects the Jamaica Labour Party's latest baseless and defamatory attacks, a desperate attempt to mislead Jamaicans and distract from the government's corruption scandals. When was the last time we heard of any corruption scandal under the government? If you can recall, please put it in the comment section, because I can't recall any of recent time. So I don't know what it is that she's talking about here. Anyway, she went on to say this reckless smear campaign is unacceptable, and here is a clicker. And the PNP will take legal action to put an end to it. So I realize now that she wasn't just shortening up the heading, to make it short and spicy. She actually believed that the PNP can take legal action to put an end to what she calls smear campaign of the PNP. You following me? So this is what is telling me now that she did not consult an attorney before she put this statement out, which means we can all take it as a hot air and with a pinch of salt, right? Why is it that she did not consult with Donna Scott Motley, with Philip Paulwell, with Julian Robinson? What happened to the Englishman himself? You know, say my first-rate attorney, and then you have the legal officer who, my understanding is, unless it has changed recently, it's Anthony Hilton, right? She wrote this and sent it out as a press release, a media release. Now, is it that she sought their opinion and they did not want to get involved? Is it that she sought legal advice from the party's attorney and none of them don't want to deal with it? Not even the riser, Tony Hilton? Talk to me. What do you think went on here? Because she's supposed to know better. She don't know nothing about law. She's not a lawyer. And therefore, if this was supposed to be frightening to somebody, she ought to have gotten the legal opinion before she put it out as a chairperson. Better still, why was this press release not coming from the legal officer, Tony Hilton? Let me read it further and see if we might discover why it is none of them decided that they were going to put their name to it. It goes on to say, we have full confidence in our General Secretary. Is that what caused the problem? We in the resistance have been hearing that Mumalashi, Dayton Campbell, is under some very serious pressure from within the party. PNP and risers, they want to see the back of him. So, one must wonder if the legal officer, being a member of the party, is also of that view. So is Paulwell, so is Donna Scott, so is Julian Robinson, so is KD Knight, so is PJ Patterson. These are all persons that she could have gone and gotten legal advice from, and there are a host of others. So what this is telling me is that the tent is in some very serious disarray. Yes, the tent a pop down. Market it burn down already, but then they catch it up. Then they catch it up here and there and patch it here and there. And now it is clearly in disarray. And this letter is what tells me that it must be so. Anybody on the JLP side reading this, go and sit down and laugh. And so what the hell is this? They're going to see what I am seeing. I'm merely pointing it out to you. Just in case you may not have noticed. Let me continue to read what she says. After she said, we have full confidence in our General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, and the Mayor of Kingston, Councillor Andrew Swaby, who have been unjustly targeted. All right, well, if Mark Golding will be going out there and going on like the PNP don't have no corruption in it, you don't expect the Labour Party to seize upon the opportunity to say that this is corruption. So I don't know that you can rightly say it's unjustly targeted, because it is politics and they are going to play politics just as the PNP play politics too. Right? Imagine the Prime Minister is exercising his rights under the law and una go out there tell the people on political platform. Say him taking the Integrity Commission to court as if he might do something wrong. Because you're playing politics and you're taking advantage of the people because you think them stupid and them don't know, so you can talk these rubbish and they will swallow it and go out there and make fools of themselves when they're talking to other people. When you are on the political platform talking about the Royal Reed saga or the Andrew Wheatley saga and you talk about it as corruption, it is the like manner in which the Labour Party is seen what Dayton Campbell was caught saying in a voice note about what he says is the activities of the KSAMC. They are of the view that that is corruption. And if you are entitled to be talking about their corruption as you see it, then they must be entitled to talk about your corruption as they see it. Who know better? The letter goes on to say these malicious and politically motivated accusations, without saying what they were, without a shred of credible evidence. What is she talking about? Dayton Campbell was the one who said it. Are nothing more than a cowardly attempt to deflect attention from the JLP's governance failures and corruption scandals. And she went on later to make a list of them. But let us talk about this briefly. First of all, this was a leaked WhatsApp message conversation between Dayton Campbell and Lawrence Rowe, which was sent to Nationwide News Network, and they duly brought it to our public notice, as they should. It was the bloggers as well as other persons in social media that started to raise backside about this business of the KSAC monies being directed to caretakers, right, in order to shore up the PNP's campaign in 2 divisions that are now vacant and under the control of the mayor. And the people out there are entitled to their opinion based upon what it was they heard coming out of Dayton Campbell's mouth. He has not denied it, and he has not sought to put a spin on it, right? And so I don't think that it is reasonable for Angela to be saying that there is no credible evidence, right? Or that the people are cowardly or trying to deflect from the JLP's governance failures. Nobody now look on that right now. We want to know what's going on with the KSAC and our money. Now, the JLP held a conference, and I suppose that is what she's responding to, right? But you cannot be saying that they are deflecting when the whole of our attention is on the KSAC and our money. Yes, our attention was on KSAC and the money. We don't look over that direction, but no, not what happened 5 years ago. We are talking about what's happening now. We want an explanation for what is going on at the KCC with our money. And the mayor has sought to put forward an explanation. And obviously, that explanation was not sufficient to quell the tongues and the wagging of the tongues and the loud cries for Dayton Campbell to step aside and resign from the Electoral Commission as a commissioner. This matter appears to be particularly offensive to those who are calling for his resignation. So let me continue. The media release went on to say the PNP challenges the JLP and its operatives. If you possess any legitimate evidence, submit it to law enforcement authorities. Be careful of what you ask for, Angela. Be careful of what you ask for. Are you hearing me, my people? Angela is challenging you. If you possess any legitimate evidence, submit it to the law enforcement authorities. Anybody out there with evidence? Are you hearing that? Angela Brown-Burke wants you to hand over the evidence that you have to MOCA, the FID, and the Integrity Commission. Yes, hand them over. Be careful of what you ask for. But anyway, otherwise, cease these defamatory attacks immediately. Who is she saying should cease the defamatory attacks immediately? The JLP. She has not named anyone that she can say this person is saying something defamatory. She has not done so. She's talking about the JLP should cease these defamatory attacks immediately. And what she ought to do, if there are indeed defamatory attacks on Dayton Campbell and the mayor, then she should name the persons who are defaming these two men. And if she failed to name them as she did in this letter, then who is the coward? Why should I name them? She went on to say, we also call on law enforcement agencies to clarify whether any investigation is indeed underway. If such an investigation exists, those involved should be informed through the process rather than subjected to the JLP's political theater. What is Angela Brown-Burke saying here? What she's saying, basically, reading between the lines, is that them don't know if there's an investigation. But if there is, she says, right? She wants the agencies who are doing the investigation to come out and say that they are doing the investigation. Now, why? Why? If they are there doing their investigation silently, why is she calling them to come out and identify who they are? Well, I won't be able to tell you for sure, but I can say what effects that would be. If this agency that is carrying out their investigations secretly, or the agencies is carrying out the investigation secretly, they would have done so for a reason. And here is Angela Brown-Burke saying, no, we want to know who you are. Why? I can tell you that if they were to identify themselves, then Angela Brown-Burke and Dayton Campbell will know what they are investigating. Are you following me? Yes. Once you know which agency is investigating, that will tell you what it is they are investigating. Now, this is almost sounding as if a whole heap of other things was going on at the KCMC. This is not the only thing. Something else is going on, or other things were going on, and they don't know what the law enforcement people know. Hence, Angela Brown-Burke is asking for them to come out and say that they're investigating. And she also wants them to tell the persons who are being investigated that they're under investigation. Now, why should the law enforcement agencies do any such thing? Why should they tell the person that they are being investigated when they clearly are carrying out their investigations quietly, assuming that anybody is investigating at all? But basically what she's saying, that they are not aware of any investigation. In other words, Nobody has gone down to the KSAMC with any warrant to seize documents or computers. They don't know of that. So it's either one of two things. Either there is no investigation going on, or an investigation going on is quiet. And she wants to know. She wants to know if there's any such investigation going on and which agency is investigating. And that way, by knowing which agency is investigating, then you will know what it is that they are investigating, because these agencies are set up to investigate specific things. MOCA gets involved, you're talking about corruption, and you're also talking about organized crime. See what I'm talking about? And the FID, I do believe, investigate financial crimes. So this is what now. Once you know which agency is investigating, then you'll know what it is that they're investigating. And she must know why she wants to know all of that. Let me continue. So she go on to say now, what is a real crisis? Corruption and mismanagement under the JLP. Now, this now, to me, is a distraction. She's trying to turn the attention and the pressure from her general secretary, in whom she has complete confidence, her RISE colleague, right? She tried to save him by us now turning our attention away from what is the scandal of the moment to look at some scandal in the past. She's talking about the hundreds of millions of public funds she says squandered, right? What is that? She's talking about the lease of some buildings, right? And the paying of money in rent, and the building is still unoccupied, and they're paying rent somewhere else. Have you noticed that not one member of the private sector came out? I don't recall hearing them. If you have, you can put it in the comment section. But I don't recall hearing one of them come out and criticize the government over it or say a word over it. You know why? Because them are business people and they understand how these things go. If you're looking for a place for the tax office in another bay, you're not going to find buildings of the size and the type of amenities that you want dime a dozen. So when you see one, you have to grab it and pay. That is what business people do. I recall so many years ago, I think it was one of the fast food restaurants, right? Went and entered into a contract for a property on Nutswood Boulevard. They were moving from where they were. I don't even think they moved yet. And then probably still have the lease they're paying. So what the companies will do, they will grab the building, and only when matters are, or the financial situation of the company improves or reach that stage, that is when now you will see them start to make the effort to move. Otherwise, they will remain where they are and they hold on to the lease of that property. When it comes to government and certain businesses, like banks, and you notice the banks are in locations for donkey ages and they are leasing those properties and don't own them. Same thing with the fast food restaurants, same thing with the governments. Usually those leases are long term, 10, 15, 20-year leases, right? And know of that the fast food restaurants, they are usually like 10-year lease and with an option to renew every 10 years. So when you have these long leases, if you try to break those leases before they expire, sometimes you're asked to pay up the balance. So if you break it in the 8th year, they want you to pay the other 2 year upfront, or you pay like 1 year rent. And so what companies tend to do is that them just sit down, wait until the lease run out, and then them go and fix up the place. In some instances, it costs a pretty penny to relocate. And for private business, maybe that money may not be there yet. If there is a slight downturn in sales, they may not even move. Same thing with government as well. If the taxes, they have other priorities, they may remain where they are, wait when the lease run out. They have no choice because they're certainly not going to enter into another 10-year or 20-year lease. So then they will have to make sure and find the money and move into the new property. So that's just how it is. And that is the reason why you don't hear nobody in the private sector came up, because they know how it is, because them do the same thing too. Now, she talked about selective justice for political allies. She claimed that there is a media house that allegedly owes over 1 billion in unpaid taxes, continues to receive government contracts. Now, she was talking about persons being cowards. Why wasn't she brave enough to mention the name of the media house? If she want us to be out there discussing it, and what she want to do? She don't want to call the name. She want we go call the name and defame the media house. As a matter of fact, this matter of a media house owing government $1 billion is of interest to Jamaica 411. And I do believe that we should investigate it. What do you think? Is that something that you think we should be investigating? I think so. So we shall be investigating this matter of the media house allegedly owing $1 billion in taxes to government. Yes, we shall see whether it is true or not true. And the third item she hopes to distract us with, she's hoping to change the narrative to what she wants us to talk about. She don't want to talk about what is going on in the parish councils controlled by the PNP. No, she don't want to talk about that. She wants us to talk about these things. Ongoing conflict between the Jamaica Labour Party government and oversight bodies, right? She's talking about the Integrity Commission and Wholeness and the Auditor General and resisting every effort to hold them accountable. I mean, isn't that what she's doing now? We are trying to hold the parish councils controlled by them, the risers. We are trying to hold them accountable as citizens, because the government obviously not doing anything about it. Them claim them investigating, or at any rate, Cliff Hughes claim that they're investigating, but nobody has come out and said they are, and they usually do. So as far as I'm concerned, no investigation are taking place. So we out here are trying to hold them accountable. And she is resisting our efforts by coming now to tell us what she wants us to talk about. No, you ever say anything like that? What a piece of impertinence. Instead of addressing these urgent concerns, the JLP is preoccupied with manufacturing scandals to manipulate the public and deflect from its own corruption crisis. What is she talking about? What crisis? The PNP will not be distracted by the JLP's desperate attempts to shift focus from their failures. No. But you busy trying to shift us from your failures and your scandals. We remain committed to good governance, transparency, and ensuring that public funds serve the Jamaican people, not political deception and corruption. Seriously, Angela? You seriously wrote this? What really is your purpose for writing this news release instead of the legal officer? What exactly is it you're trying to do, Angela Brown-Burke? You're trying to manipulate the conversation to have us talk about the three things that you want us to talk about. Is that what you're trying to do? Not at all. What she's trying to do is to create a news item for the media to be talking about. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to get the media houses, right, to put out her statements and then create a narrative around it so that we now will be distracted from the things that Dayton Campbell has said, in which people are demanding that he should resign from the electoral office. That is what she's attempting to do. So the real purpose and the sole purpose of this news item is not to try and change our views. No, she knows that she can't do that, right? But what she can do is get the media houses to talk about what she says they should talk about. In other words, she's anticipating that Dion Jackson Miller will now be talking about her statement and hold a program on it and bring on analysts and them have a fulsome discussion about what she says and the scandals, and don't talk about what's going on at the parish councils. She's hoping that Emily Shields in the morning will be doing the same. Did PMP put out this new release? And then it's a big topic of discussion now, and the people call into the programs and they start to talk about this thing now in order to take away the attention from the parish council, and people demanded that Dayton Campbell should go. That is what this is all about. And the media houses that are so inclined, I fully expect that the Gleaner will be obliging her. But guess what? We have our following and our audience, and you are out there on the ground. When you're in the taxis, when you're at the barber shop, when you're at the hairdresser, when you're in the supermarket, you stand up at the bus stop. Well, you don't want to talk politics at the workplace, but every opportunity that you get, you talk about this, because this is what is important. This is money that's supposed to go fix your road, your parish council roads, and you have NWA roads, right? And a lot of the parish council, them roads mash up because of the rain. And this money that's supposed to be fixing the roads, cleaning the drains, and all of that is being funneled to unauthorized person to do what? There is no program of work that this money is supposed to be used for. But according to Dayton Campbell, by-elections are coming up. And when you think about it, general elections are coming up too. So are we to look forward to the 5 parish councils and the Portmore municipality using the money we're supposed to be doing local government work for the communities and the people? Are we to look forward to them being funneled to PMP operatives, caretakers, in order for them to run them campaign? That is corruption of the highest order. The political party must go and find the funding and fund them political campaign themselves. It was Dayton Campbell himself who told Lawrence Rowe that the People's National Party is in a cash flow crisis. That's how he described it. Right? And a party that is in a cash flow crisis is now up and down the place campaigning. Where is that money coming from? From the parish councils? I am calling upon the law enforcement agencies, MOCA, FID, and then there is the Auditor General. And I don't know if we even want the Integrity Commission involved in this, but they have a duty to investigate. So the Integrity Commission as well. Don't wait for anybody to come and complain to you. Integrity Commission, right? You need to launch an investigation into what Dayton Campbell said about these parish council funding going into the hands of individuals who are not authorized to do work on behalf of the parish council. They have no contract, they're not working with them. So they should not be receiving parish council money to spend in constituencies to do anything. They have no legal authority to be spending money in any division or any constituency from the parish council. And the matter gets worse if this money is going into the hands of MP caretakers to spend in their constituency. Yes. So there needs to be an investigation, a thorough investigation in the parish council and the allocation of parish council funds. Yes, this thing is getting messy by the day. Anyway, folks, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you all for joining me. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up, for sharing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. For those of you who have not done so yet, please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and walk good.